You're watching the SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days. It's day 2, and it's time to take a look into the Schreiner University Men's Basketball program. Of course, the Mountaineers coming out off an outstanding season last year where they went 15-3 overall, 10-4 in SCAC play, the SCAC tournament champions, an appearance in the NCAA tournament. They will once again be led into the season by head coach Kuykendall, along with junior forward Paul Wells. Coach Paul, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, I'll start with you. You head into your 5th season as the head coach there at the Schreiner Mountaineers men's basketball program, but the first as the defending champions. What's different this year? How has the mindset changed heading into year 5?
I'm not going to say our mindset's changed really any. Our last 2 years that we've won the regular season conference championship, our approach has kind of been the same in the fact of, we're really not focused about what we're going to do in conference play. We're really worried about what we're doing with our group this year and trying to figure out what works best for the guys we have on the team this year, and really just trying to prepare every day to get better, and then just trying to put ourselves in a good position when we play our first game of the year, November 8th, against Mary Hardin Baylor.
Paul, for you, as you look at this roster, this is 2 years in a row now that Schreiner has had to try and replace a huge handful of important senior graduates, as you get to start a new season. 15 underclassmen in all on this team. For you, in your first year as an upperclassman, a guy who's been there for the past 2 years, started every conference game of your career, how have you kind of taken on the leadership role this season? How have you seen your role change a little bit in terms of that aspect of this team?
Nothing really has changed for me because I've pretty much always been a vocal leader. But I had, like you said, great guys that left before me, Keenan Gumps, Louis, you can name all BK, this leadership roles that I looked up to, and a lot of people that I looked up to over the years. One of our assistant coach, Nate. Just some people that are always leaders, and I looked up to them, and I'm just filling in that role.
Coach, a season ago you talked about the challenges and bringing in a big group of freshmen to kind of replace some seniors that graduated the year before. You knew that you were going to be losing a great group of seniors from last year. And as I mentioned, 15 underclassmen on this team. They bring a ton of energy, those freshmen. But for you as a coach, what challenges does that provide in trying to get that chemistry right? And what have you seen from some of those freshmen that give you excitement moving forward into the season?
Well, I think with any program, no matter what the level, whenever you bring a lot of new faces into the program, there's going to be an adjustment. And, some freshmen pick it up a lot quicker than others. And one thing we just ask our new guys every year is just compete every day, bring energy and effort every day, not worry about making the mistakes that's going to come with it, and be coachable. Because some of the things that we do is going to be different than what they're used to in their high school career. And it's just it's a learning process, and it's a long process, and the season's a grind, and that's kind of what we just ask for our guys every year, whether they're freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors. But with this group, the fact that, like you pointed out, we are relatively young. Even our sophomores that have had experience, they're still sophomores, and they're a year removed from being in the same position as these first-year guys. It is at times a little bit difficult. But so far this group, I think, especially the last week, has really started to come together and kind of starting to figure out what this group's going to need to do to be successful, to put themselves in a good position to compete. And we got a lot of young guys that are energetic and play hard and compete. And it's just about hopefully, us as coaches trying to find the right system that's going to help them be in a position to be successful.
Paul, for you, you're coming off a sophomore season in which you made 20 starts, averaged nearly 18 minutes a night on the floor, and chipped in with nearly 5 points per game. What specifically, basketball-wise, have you been working on through the course of the offseason heading into this junior year to continue to grow as a player out there on the floor?
I've really been keying in and focusing on my jump shot. I always thought I had a pretty good jump shot, but making it more consistent. Other than that, being powerhouse inside, defense, bringing that energy, that spark, like I always have been for this program the last 2 years. But other than that, I've been really working on making my jump shot very consistent.
Again, you're watching the SCAC Men's Basketball Media Days. Today we're taking a look into the Schreiner University Men's Basketball Program. We're joined by head coach Kuykendall along with junior forward Paul Wells. And Paul, how difficult is it to navigate through this SCAC schedule? Coach has talked about it in the past. Night in, night out, each opponent provides that challenge. What is it that you've learned over the course of the last couple of years that hopefully will help you going into this season, and how difficult it is to navigate this schedule?
We get some pretty tough competition. Other than that, it's just we got to compete. Other than that, the difficulty level is pretty difficult. But other than that, we just gotta go out there and compete each year and to show what we're made of. You know all the practice that we put in to show what our head coach has been putting us through and just grind as a team.
Coach, a season ago, this team was a very solid rebounding squad. You led the SCAC in terms of rebounding margin, nearly +6 every single night. How important will that trend how important will that trend be heading into this season for this group to continue its success going into the year?
I think it's very important. It's something that we've really tried to establish as part of our identity the last few years. I think that just has such a big impact on the game and putting yourself in a position to be successful when it comes to the possessions and all that comes with that. And that's one of the things that with the new group that we try to make sure we're not forgetting in every drill that we do. We want to be physical. We want to control the glass and rebound. And we've talked to them about how that can help win us a game. And we've also talked about when the times we've not been as successful, we can usually look at the rebounding margin, and that usually has something to do with it. So this year's no different than what we've done in the past. Is we know that's been kind of one of our strengths, and we want to make sure that we don't forget that that's what's put us in a position to be successful and compete for a championship. And that's going to be one of our main goals this year, to carry that over into this year as well.
Paul, finally to wrap things up with you, as this team has had discussions and looked ahead to the rest of the season, what are some of the goals that this 2018-19 Mountaineers men's basketball program has looking forward?
We talked almost every day about it. Some of the goals we have is just go out there, play, leave everything we have on the court, just compete. That's really all we can ask for this group. I know we're a young group, but at the end of the day, if you compete and give all you got, there is no excuses or no regrets that you have at the end of the game. Whether win or lose, it doesn't matter. Just go out there and compete, and whatever happens, happens.
And finally, Coach, for you, to all your fans and people who are going to come out and support the Schreiner men's basketball program this season, what are some of the characteristics you hope that they can really count on night in, night out, regardless of the result? What are some of the, themes or characteristics you hope this team really embodies as the season progresses throughout the year?
Yeah, I think Paul kind of hit on the head for us, and something we've talked about these last 3 or 4 years in our culture is about, no matter whether you're home or away, who you're playing, where you're at in the standings, it's just going out and giving a great effort, and then playing together as a group. And if we do that, control the things that we can control, at the end of the day, the results will take care of themselves. And you can't be disappointed whether you win or lose if you did all the things that go with being a successful team, with playing hard, playing physical, making the extra pass, being a good teammate on the bench, on the floor. And those are things that we just try to talk about every single day. And hopefully when people come to watch us, they see that about our group, that we don't stop playing no matter what the score is. We're always going to play hard and compete no matter where we're at.
Schreiner University men's basketball program, again, the Mountaineers led by head coach Connor Kuykendall, along with junior forward Paul Wells, will open up the 2018-19 season Thursday, November 8th at home against Mary Hardin-Baylor. Coach, Paul, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you move forward throughout the rest of your season.
Thank you very much.